welcome back to My Own Worst Enemy. We're about to start another turn of Assault Red Horizon 41. But before I do, an announcement, and that announcement is that the expansion pack for this game is now available for pre-order at the Assault Games homepage. So check that out. The expansion adds in tactical air support and off-board artillery support, two things that the Soviets really wish they had right now in this game, but they don't. So check that out. And also, as I understand now, let's grab one of these cards. The expansion will now bring into effect that yellow blast value will be used. That is now active if you have the expansion, so check that out. Hopefully we'll be able to check that out here on the channel as well at some point. So that being said, there's two housekeeping things I want to do really quick. One, when I had the mortar fire smoke this target hex, and when I did, I used this Rifles 41 as a spotting unit. And what I should have done was mark this as used. I should have had this as an action. So when you spot for the mortar, that's a normal action. And so to make up for it, what I did was I moved this Rifles 41 unit forward at the end of the last turn. So I just moved him back. We activated this Rifles 41 instead, and therefore he could not have moved. So that fixed that problem. The other problem, and I can't believe I did this, this is crazy. These two Rifles 41 units, I moved 5 spaces as a fast move. I was for some reason thinking of the Panzer 38T, I don't know why. But they can only move 3 when they do a fast action, so I brought them back 2 spaces. So they only move 3 spaces, which is good news for the Germans because they're not running at the speed of a vehicle. They're running at normal speed there. So I moved those back and they are in the correct position now. So what I'm going to do, we're going to continue on here. I'm going to move the turn marker up to turn 5, and we will simply, let me grab the player's aid card here for the turn sequence. We'll just jump right in. And so the first thing we do is roll for initiative. So let's see who's going to have the initiative here. And it looks like it goes to the Soviets. It might be a good thing for the Soviets. And then the next thing is the planning phase. We draw our command cards first, then we're going to assign the command points. So I'm going to start with the Germans and look at their command cards real quick. They do have one I want to replace. It's this gunner card because the Soviets do not have any armor. So this is doing them absolutely no good. So we're going to discard that and draw a new command card, which is Tough Fighters. This unit may reroll 1 attack die during a close combat. We'll hang on to that one because it's possible there could be close combat, I suppose. And I'm going to leave the Soviet command cards. They have 3. We didn't use any. I'm just going to leave those. I like what they have in their hand there. So that's going to be it for the command cards. Now let's do the command points. And we will start with the Germans first. We have 10 of those we need to place. So let's look at what we've got going on with the Germans. I know I'm going to want to move Panzer 38Ts for sure. Here's one. I think we had 3 of those, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so we have a Panzer 38T here. There's one here. And we do have 3 of those. This one is, looks like I forgot to move a normal action there. So he is down to one hit point remaining. So that's not good for him. We probably want to think about that. So I definitely want to move at least this Panzer 38 and this Panzer 38 for sure. The Panzer 2F. And I want to move these tanks because I want to get them forward as quickly as possible. So we've got 2 of those. I still have the truck here that I'm going to go ahead and put one on that too. I think I'm going to want to move that. I've got another truck up here and looks like it's got a Rifles 41 in it. I'm not sure yet if I want to move that. We also have this personnel carrier down here, which is a pretty fast unit and could also take shots at infantry. So I think I'm going to move that. I'm going to activate this heavy machine gun because we do still have units sitting here. And I think I'm going to put another one on the mortar. And then the Rifles 41s. I'm just going to put these. Well, I'm going to put one on the Rifles 41. I'm going to put both of those on the Rifles 41. So that's going to be the German command points. Now let's do the Soviets. I've only got 4. I wished I had more. I know I'm going to put 2 on Rifles 41 for sure, so I want to move these. And that's going to only leave me with 2, and I'm going to put 1 on, I think, the anti-tank gun. And we've got the anti-tank rifles as well. I'm going to put 1 on the anti-tank gun, and then I think the other is going to have to go on the anti-tank rifles. At this point, these other units are just, I need more command points to do anything with them, so they're just kind of sitting ducks at this point. All right, so that's going to take us out of the planning phase, and now we're going to go into the support phase. All right, and so this is where we can use our mortar again. So let's take a quick look at the mortar card. Probably don't want to fire smoke this time, though. We probably just want to do some indirect fire. And I'm looking at the indirect fire. The unit can use indirect fire at a range of 2 to 12 hexes using 3 green attack dice. The defender loses its weakest defense die, so that's something to remember. So 12 hexes away. Now it would be nice to probably get some of these forward units, but line of sight may be an issue in range. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, no, those are actually in range. Let's take a look at line of sight. So I think he has clear line of sight to that Rifles 41. I'm not sure about the anti-tank rifles. He's got a unit there in front of him, and then over here. So I think really the only one he has line of sight to would be this Rifles 41. So let's just fire at that. So again, I'm going to look on the back of the card. So I think it's 3. Yep, it's going to be 3 of these attack dice. So let's get those out for just a second here. All right, so we'll go ahead and mark that with a normal action. Well, I guess this would be a firing action. Either way, it's an action, so we're just going to mark that. And of course, the target is this Rifles 41. He does have line of sight, and it is within the 12 range, and then we'll flip the command point to show that. So, and I'm going to bring out, I had threatened to do this, and I did it. I created a battle board, which I'm going to use to help keep track of dice, so I don't confuse who's the attacker and who's the defender. So let's go ahead and put out the attack dice. So those are going to go in the second band that I've created here. So the first one is spotting, but we're not going to have that here. He's in the open anyway. So we're going to get 3 attack dice. And I'm going to also, we'll go back to our ranged fire marker to make sure we're not forgetting anything. In conjunction with this, although this has a lot of what's on that player's aid card. So we've activated our unit and we have line of sight. We put our firing marker down. He is in the firing arc and experience level. So I do have those on the chart here to help keep me honest on, you know, what the effects that the experience has. There's no experience here for the mortar. There is experience on the Rifles 41. It is a recruit, so that's going to earn him an automatic suppress marker. So we're going to go ahead and pull one of those out. I'm just going to put this off to the side here because that's not going to, we're not going to roll that. They've already earned that as being a recruit. And then we look for any dice modification. So there's no modifications for dice here. The defense bonus, it's in a road. The Rifles 41 is in a road, so that is, looks like a, well, let's see, do you actually get, with indirect fire, do they get the terrain bonus? Let's take a look at that real quick. Yeah, so they would. So they're in a road, so they're going to get a blue. Let's see, so they'll get a blue, whoops, they'll get a blue for terrain bonus. And then their inherent is, Rifles 41 is a yellow, so attack, defense, and I think that's it. Attributes on command cards. Now I do have for the Soviets that they can add an additional yellow defense die when attacked, but that's in ranged fire, so that's not going to help here anyway. All right, so I guess that's it. Just a quick look at the defenders. So we've checked for inherent defense, the rain bonuses. Line of sight hindrance would not matter here since this is indirect fire. No special markers, experience, nothing. So this does a pretty good job of not only keeping me honest on who's the attacker, who's the defender, but also which dice you need to look for to have out. So we're going to roll the attack dice first. So it's these 3 greens. So we got incoming, and it looks like a critical, a hit, and suppress. So I'm going to put those down here because this is the attacker. This is what he rolled. the defender. We'll go ahead and put his blue down there because he's going to get that. Or rather, this is the result. So we'll see what his defense roll is. I'm still trying to confuse myself. So he was able to, it's a miss, and he was able to eliminate one of the hits. So he's left with 2 suppress and a critical and a regular hit. All right, so let's go ahead and apply the 2 hits. Well, he only had 2 left, so that's it. That's going to eliminate this rifles unit. So he took some bombardment there and was eliminated. And also note that we do not pull a command point for the Soviets here because they are at their minimum of 4, so they will not lose any. Fortunately for them. So that was a good attack by the the German mortar there. So let's get the battle board out of the way. And let's continue on. So I think that's going to take us out of the support phase. I don't think we have anybody else that can take any action in the support phase. Take us right into the regular action phase. And the Soviets did have the initiative here, so they're going to go first. Let's see, what do they want to do? Do I want to move those Rifles 41s, or do I want to take a shot with the anti-tank gun? And I probably want to take a shot with the anti-tank gun or the anti-tank rifles. So this anti-tank gun, he is on the hill now, which was, it took a while to get up there, but he managed to get up there. So he could take a shot at either this almost just totally destroyed Panzer 38T here, or this Panzer IIF that's coming forward. Or even, I think he could probably hit this one, but I think he'd probably want to go after one of these closer ones. So I think I'm going to activate the anti-tank gun. And I think I'm going to take a shot at this Panzer 38T because it's only got 1 more hit point left. We can eliminate it if we're lucky enough to actually inflict a damage point. So let's go ahead and mark this as firing. We flipped our command point. Note that he does have line of sight because he's firing over this brush, so there's going to be no hindrance there. So let's go ahead and get that battle board back out and go through this. So we are going to be looking at we've marked him as firing. He's in range. His range is 1, 2, 3. So that is for our anti-tank gun firing at range 3. It's a yellow and 2 greens. So let's go ahead and give him those. So spotting roll, this unit is in the clear. I don't think there's a spotting roll for that. So we continue on, and it says the arc. Yep, we're in the arc. Experience level. So here we have, there's nothing on the anti-tank gun, but there is a hardened on this Panzer 38T. So hardened is this light green color, and that is 1 extra blue die for the defender. So he's going to get an extra blue die for that. So we'll go ahead and give him that. And dice modifications here. There's no -1 modifiers for anything. No special command cards. And that is it for the attacker. I'm going to flip and look at the defender here real quick. Inherent, we'll start with that. So the Panzer 38T is taking a shot from the front. So that's going to be a red and a yellow. So we'll get a red and a yellow to go with that blue. Terrain bonus, he's in the clear. So for a tank, that is nothing. So he gets no bonus for terrain. No special defender status markers. We've already put out the experience level. That, I believe, is it. Yep. As far as I can tell, that's it. So the anti-tank rifle is going to fire. And that looks like a pretty good shot. So that's 3 hits and a critical. I think we're going to see the end of our Panzer 38 here. So he's going to roll his defense dice. And he did manage to eliminate 2 of those hits. So that would eliminate those 2 hits. And that is it. So he still has 2 hits and only has 1 hit point left. So he is gone. Now the Germans will lose a command point here because they still have 10. And so we'll just pull the one off the 81mm mortar. So they lost their command point. Move the battle board back out of the way. We have showed it as fired, so we're all good here. We go back now to the German side. The Germans, what are the Germans going to do? I think they really want to get this Panzer forward. I'm going to activate this Panzer 38. I think we might do a fast action here. But nonetheless, what he's going to do is he is going to move 1, and this anti-tank is going to fire on him. So I've got 1 anti-tank rifle over here, so it's going to be a reaction fire from the Soviets. We will flip that. Let's get the battle board back out again. All right, so we've got to remember, I'm going to put a 1 to show that we know he's moved 1. So if he survives all this, he's going to want to keep moving. I don't want to forget that. All right, so we have the anti-tank rifle is firing at the Panzer 38T. Okay, so again, starting, there's no spotting roll, and I'm going to look at the player's aid card again. So there's no spotting roll because he's in the clear. We've activated, we spent our command points. There's no special markers. Experience level, so this, let's look at this tank. I think he's hardened as well, he is. So hardened is going to give him an extra blue die for his defense, so we'll go ahead and put that out. We need to pull our dice, our attack dice for our anti-tank rifles. It's at range 1, so that's 2 greens. He's firing at a tank. 2 greens and a blue. Which isn't really all that great at range 1, but I guess it's going to have to do. So we got our experiences out, status markers, there's command cards. Let's see if there's any command cards. I don't think so. Line of sight, there was no hindrance for line of sight. Terrain bonus for armor, there's not for that Panzer. I think that's it. I think I've accounted for everything. Quick glance at the player's aid card. I think I hit everything. So we will roll our attack first. And it looks like 1 measly hit for the attacker. And the defender, oh, I forgot his inherent dice. For the Panzer 38T from the front is a red and yellow, so those would go here. And now I believe I've accounted for everything. I like this battle board. It's just kind of keeping it a lot more straight in my mind what's going on. So he rolls. Oh yeah, that's plenty. He completely survived all of that. We move our battle board. He's taking a fast action, so he's now going to go 2. And let me see, I don't think I have, no, I can't do anything. I can't take another shot with anything but Rifles 41. So 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the Panzer 38 can move 5 with a fast action. An infantry unit cannot. So let's go ahead and move him and mark him with a fast action there. All right, so that's bad news for the Soviets. I've got a Panzer that's actually been able to break through what little bit of a defense line the Soviets had. So let's now go back to the Soviet side. And the only thing I can move are Rifles 41s, and we better start moving them. So I'm going to flip a command point and move this one. He's going to have to do a fast action. So 1, 2, 3, not 5. So we go 1, 2, 3, and that's a fast action. And now we go back to the German side. I'm going to activate a Panzer 2F. We'll flip that, and he's going to do a fast action. So he can move 3, plus 1 is a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there is nothing that anyone can do on the Soviet side. So we'll mark that as being moved as a fast action. Now we go back to the Soviet side. I'm going to have to move this Rifles 41. He's going to go 1, 2, 3. We'll flip him to show the fast action. That is it. Go back to the German side. I think this is a Panzer 38T. Yeah, so we got a Panzer down there. I'm going to flip that. And it's going to go, let's see, looking at that brush there. Can he go through, not brush, but I guess this is light forest, I believe. And I'm just looking to see if there's any kind of potential damage from moving through that light forest. I don't think so. I think it's just an additional movement cost. Looks like an additional movement cost of 2. So on the player's aid card, it has vehicle damage from terrain, and for armor going through light forest, there is none. So it can definitely do that. It's going to cost 2 to do it though. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can get him to here. And I think, was that the only... So there's a Panzer 38T there. We've had one that was destroyed and the one that just moved forward. So that is it for Panzer 38Ts. It could go back up this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now either way, I'm putting this Panzer 38T in the face of potentially, if the Soviets survive, putting me in the face of some anti-tank stuff here. 1, and this was an anti-tank. Yeah, that's the big anti-tank gun. So 1, 2, 3. I'm going to move him up to here, so it's going to be a normal action. And the reason I did that is because I didn't want to move him here because it's possible that the Soviets next turn could take a close combat action against that tank, and they do not want that as a possibility. They probably wouldn't be able to stop the tank, but still. Back to the Soviet side. Well, now there are no more command points that I have for the Soviets, so we just simply go to the German side. And basically the wall of German units is going to continue to move forward. Let's go ahead and move our APC, so we'll flip that, and it's going to go, has a movement factor of 4, it can go 5 with the fast action. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 4 without the fast action, right? So maybe we won't take the fast action. We'll just move him 1, 2, 3, 4 to here. So that's a normal action. That way we can avoid the -1 penalty when we take shots at the Rifles 41. Soviets pass back to the Germans. We still have a Panzer IIF we can move. It's here, so I'm going to flip that. It's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, now he's getting into the face of those anti-tank. Well, let's do it. 1, 2, 3, and let's do a normal action. So that's 3. We want to keep his fire intact as well. We don't want the -1 modifier on him. Soviets pass. Germans, there's a heavy machine gun somewhere. Let's find that and move it. You can move 2. Well, actually, we're not going to move it. I think we're just going to take a shot. So let's flip that. They're going to take a shot at this machine gun. We will show them as firing. At this point, this is kind of pointless. That's not really going to matter what happens to that machine gun, but we're going to do it anyway. So the heavy machine gun is firing spotting roll. So this unit is in light forest, it looks like. So it does get a terrain bonus. So we have a spotting roll, a 2 or greater, it looks like, is what they need to spot. So let's roll. For the Germans, do they spot? They do. So the spotting roll is taken care of for the attacker. The attack dice, or a heavy machine gun, firing at 1. That's 2 reds and a yellow. Yikes. So on that attack dice line, we put 2 reds and a yellow. The experience, there's none. Oh, there is something on that. Oh no, there's not. There is experience on the Maxim machine gun, and it looks like a recruit. Well, it's a recruit. It's blue. I can look at my little cheat sheet over here. So it's going to get that suppress automatically for the result. We'll just put it down here. Status markers, no special abilities. I'm not playing any of the cards, or there's no -1s or anything on the units. Line of sight is fine. Terrain defense bonus, though, this unit is in forest, light forest, so that's going to get it 2 more greens for the terrain. His inherent defense for a Maxim machine gun is a yellow. So he'll get his yellow. He's earned his suppress. And I believe that is it. And I'm checking to see, let's see. That's it. So we're going to do the attack roll first. And what did I do? I put the firing marker on top of the target marker as well. This machine gun that's doing the firing. Fires, and that looks like 3 hits. No, what am I saying 3 hits? That looks like 5 hits and a suppress, which will be 2 suppress. So this is the attacker roll. Because remember, we already had a suppression on from this guy being a recruit. Now he's going to try to defend against all that. And not a bad defense. So he's got 3 hits, a crit, and it looks like a miss. So let's see, that is going to, these 2 will eliminate. And we can eliminate these two, and that will leave a hit and 2 suppress. So it's a hit and a suppress on this unit. I think this is a 1 or a 2-step unit. So he gets flipped. And he gets marked with a suppression. So he's suppressed. I believe that is it for that heavy machine gun. Go back to the Russians, they have to pass. Back to the Germans. There's a truck. I think this was the truck. No, where did the truck go? Here's the truck. I think we want to run the truck forward so it can go 6. So let's flip that. And the truck can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's move the truck up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I really, what's he carrying? Oh, an infantry gun, yikes. Yeah, I think the Soviets are early in trouble here. All right, the Soviets pass. Back to the Germans. We have 2 rifles, 41s we can move basically here. So they move 2. We're just going to move. I'm just looking to see if there's any more that are a little farther forward. So we're going to go 1, 2. That's a normal action. And finally, let's see, we flip the command point to show we did that. Soviets pass back to the Germans for their final heavy rifle, or not heavy rifles, their rifles 41 is going to go 1, 2. That is a normal action. We flip our command point, and that is it for the action phase. That was pretty quick this time, partly due to the fact that the Soviets had so few command points they could spend. All right, so now we go into the organization phase. So all the white markers come off, so let's pull those. All right, so I think that's all the white markers. And then all the yellows get flipped. And I believe that is it for status markers. And then smoke hexes get reduced by 1 each. So we only have this hex. So one of those smoke markers comes off. And any objective markers that have changed hands get flipped. That has not happened yet. Victory check, no victory. We have hit the end of turn number 5. And I think that the fact that the Germans have managed to get so far at least 1 Panzer through, and this truck, which has this, where did it go? This infantry gun, which is brutal. It's not looking good for the Soviets. But we shall see. We will come back next turn and see. I don't know that I will be able to get a video done in the next weeks. There may be an off week, and then we'll be back for turn 6. I'll have to see how it goes. So look for a slight delay. And that's going to do it. So yeah, again, go to the Assault Games webpage to look at the expansion. It looks pretty neat. It's going to add a few more scenarios, and it's going to add the air support and offboard artillery. And I think that's going to be really, really cool. And I look forward to trying that out. So that's it. As always, if you like what I do, please like the video, subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you back here next time. Thank you for watching.